Hey guys, DJ HH here. I just wanted to cover my thoughts on scratching and how I've approached it over the years. And it's more from a perspective of, so in my full-time job, I am a personal trainer. Before that, I worked in education. I was a lecturer.
I tell you right now that unless you get over your lazy habits, come up to the standards I've set for this class, many of you will have the pleasure of repeating this course next semester.
So as I've got older, I have become more and more interested in how people learn and also what makes somebody good at something or talent and things like that.
Hooked into the penalty area towards Zidane!
And it's scratching's a really interesting one for me because it's something that I always wanted to do. Cy was always my favourite DJ. I've always liked the DJs who would not necessarily like DMC hip-hop style juggling, but I've always liked DJs who were a little bit more experimental and would flick things in and take it out and juggle a little bit in the hardcore scene, rather than the ones who were really steady and always, you know, like Slipmatt's bang on. His mixes are always really, really good and really tight. But I always preferred Cy, who might sort of get it out a little bit, but would have a bit of a go. And within that was the scratching as well. I always really liked scratching. But when I first started, I wasn't really into this. I didn't really know anyone in the scene, so I had to sort of teach myself, and it was before the internet. And I made a big mistake because I used my left hand on the fader and my right hand on the record. So consequently, with things like scribbles, I'm not bad, but all the good stuff that's on the fader, I'm not very good at. As I got older, so I got out of DJing, went off and did my career, and when I got back into it, it was because my son wanted to get into it. So I showed him how to scratch. But what I did is I just watched a few videos online, and I also picked up some tips from that. The interesting thing is, within probably half an hour, he was better than me, even though I'd been doing it for hour after hour, you know, for years. And, you know, I'd had a break and come back to it. But I'd spent hours learning, and within half an hour, he was better than me. And it was exactly the same with the guitar. I taught him how to play the guitar, but he was better than me straight away. And the reason is that I'm not very good with my fingers and my body. So I'm not very good at snooker. I'm not very good at golf. I'm not very good at football. Technically, skill-wise, you know, the control of my body is not very good. Whereas he was really good straight away. So although we look at scratching as a musical thing, and it is, you need to understand the theory. So in my head, I can think, I know exactly if there's a beat going. In my head, I'm thinking, right, okay, this would be, and I know exactly what the pattern should be or what patterns I would do. Can I get my hands to do them? Absolutely not. So as social media and teaching has become more accessible, there's things like Craig Thompson's Scratch. DJ's page, which is brilliant because what that does, it starts you from the basics, and it says, right, okay, you can learn to scratch, but you're going to have to put in the practice, and you're going to have to learn the drills from bottom upwards. And there's no point trying to run before you can walk. So that's really good because you can start. So what I would do with that now, and what I have tried to do, is start from scratch, no pun intended, and go back to start using my right hand on the fader and my left hand on the record, because in order to do the things that I want to do, my right hand does not work very well. So my left hand is awful. So that should not be in the fader because I'm not very dexterous. I'm not very good at sporting activities that require skill. So why do I work in the fitness industry? Because I'm bloody good at things that require effort and determination. So if you ask me to run through a wall and knock things down and run fast and run hard and be strong, I can do that. I'm just like a big daft lump. But I can't do anything that requires any skill, or I'm not naturally very, very good at that. So one of the reasons that I've stopped scratching
That's how you do it, boys.
is that I've realised that the amount of time and effort I need to put in as somebody who's not very good in order to get a little bit better is too much for me. To contrast it, when I first started making music, which is pretty much it's not a physical thing. If you're a music producer, if you're a guitar player, if you're a drums player, then yeah, it's a physical thing. When you're making dance music, in general, it's not a physical thing because you're using laptops and you're using MIDI instruments and things like that. It's more of a mental thing, and it's more of an intellectual endeavor. Straight away, within a couple of months of learning that, I was knocking out tunes that I really liked, and it's been great that other people have liked those as well. So it was the exact opposite. With very little effort on my part, I could make decent music because it just came naturally to me. On the other end of the scale, scratching hours and hours and hours, and I'm still crap. So that's why now I don't scratch, because I think, do you know what? You can go in and practice for an hour, and you might as well use your time making music. But just tonight, I fancied coming in and having a bit of a mess about. It's hard for you. You can't see the mixer on here on this setup, so I might change the angle so you can see what I'm doing. But I can do a little bit, but for the amount of effort that I've put in, it's not very good. Whereas Gabe, for example, he's probably put in, over the years, he's put in a lot of hours. Say I've put in 500 hours of scratching. He's probably put in 100 hours, and he's 100 times better than me. And that's just talent. So what I do now is I focus my time on the thing that I enjoy, that's going to give me the best returns, which is making music and producing music. And I don't spend that much time scratching, but I've got so much admiration for people who are good at it. So if you put in the practice and you naturally are good at scratching, I would think that you probably could have potential to be good at other things that require dexterity, such as playing the piano, drums, anything like that. That's not me, unfortunately. I'm really heavy-handed, like I said. But I'm just going to have a little bit of a mess around and just show you kind of what I do. So let me just change the camera angle. So that's about as good as I am after years of practice and faffing about. If I want to be any better than that, I need to go to my right hand and start from the beginning, which I have started to do, but the amount of effort that I would need to put in for such little returns means that I now focus more on production simply because I'm not very good at this. So I guess what I'm saying in this video is know your strengths, know your weaknesses, play to your strengths, develop your weaknesses. If you enjoy doing something that's a weakness, then there's no reason to stop. But be honest with yourself and set yourself some realistic goals. Realise that if it's something that you find hard, then you're going to have to put in a lot more effort than someone else who finds it easy. It does get frustrating when you watch people and you think, oh my God, they make it look so easy. Yeah, it's like that with football. It's like that with any kind of skill-based thing that's down to using your hands or your body. I guess it's even similar with academic things. I was always quite good at school. I found maths easy. I found my studies easy, which is how I ended up in education because it wasn't hard for me. I didn't even have to try. Whereas this, I'm awful at. So yeah, play to your strengths, be honest with yourself, work on your weaknesses, and just do what you enjoy. And hopefully that kind of mindset will help you be a little bit better in everything you do. So I'm DJ HH. Big up to everyone. Keep the hardcore scene alive, and I'll see you again soon.